Weather and Ryan will be joining us shortly. But Harith, how was your weekend?
It was pretty chaotic across all major sports, really, to be honest here. We got, obviously, I wasn't watching the Huskies game. We'll get into that later because the Mariners are on, so I was watching that 15 inning, probably one of the craziest baseball games of all time, arguably. Then, obviously, I just watched the highlights to Huskers, or we'll get into in a bit. And then, obviously, uh, Buccaneers Niners was just a roller coaster, and we'll get to that later on as well. But yeah, all across the board, it was pretty crazy for the realm of sports.
Dude, for you, yeah, for sure. Yeah, going from Friday night 15 inning baseball game to clinch a spot in the ALCS to the Huskies beating Rutgers 38-19. And then like having the last two games of the ALDS the last couple of nights, and it's been pretty good timing for you, to be
I
honest.
mean, I'm enjoying the LCS right now, but I'm also not comfortable. That means I'm just like as a Mariners fan, just waiting.
You guys are up 2-0. What are
Hey,
you talking
Luke, I'm
about?
a Mariners fan. I'm just waiting for pain to happen.
Dude, it's not going to. Y'all's pitching staff is fucking phenomenal. It's great. I've never seen a better bullpen than what you guys have now. And your bats are hot. You guys scored 13 runs or 10 runs last game.
Yeah, and then Cal Raleigh also got
What are you
accused
worried
of
about?
stealing signs. I'm just,
Not like anybody else is stealing fucking signs
yeah.
in Major League Baseball. Like, come on.
It
Like the
also
Brewers were doing it against
it's
the Cubs.
it's illegals, but also at the same time, it's like again, like I said, it's just being a Mariners fan and just like we're like the worst run franchise in like all four major sports. So it's just like me. I'm just mentally waiting for the turning point.
I don't think you should be feeling like waiting for the other shoe to drop, because I honestly think that you guys are like the Detroit Tigers are a tough team. I think Toronto just has caught on fire, which usually happens around this time of the year. In I love October baseball.
Yeah,
I love playoff baseball. Playoff baseball is a whole different vibe
right.
than than uh uh than regular like season baseball. Like when the Cubs were in it, like when we won the wild card series, and then we took it to game 5 against the Brewers. That was sick. That was so sick. But yeah. I had a pretty good weekend. Uh we got obviously the Chiefs we'll talk about later, the Huskers. I didn't get to watch much of the game because I was at a wedding, but I did catch the like the main parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, let's kind of get into it. College first.
Of course.
Harith, UW, Rutgers, Friday night. I honestly, I watched that game in bed and I was like thrilled. That entire game was so fun to watch.
I mean, it's the epitome of a Friday night college football game.
Oh yeah,
Like just
and I'll get to experience
insanity,
that in a couple of weeks, or
offensive
like tomorrow in a
shootout.
couple of days.
Like, I'm jealous because I knew some people that actually were at the game, and the fact they got to witness that insanity with like Devon Williams just like juking out people in the middle of the field, and then him and Denzel Boston just going on another insane level, and then Jonah Coleman just going nuclear. Like as a Washington fan, like coming into the season, I was already kind of feeling high about them because people were like kind of weirdly underestimating Washington and like what they're going to do this year. They're like, people are like, I don't really see them as kind of being contenders. I don't really see them getting into the 12 seed playoffs. And I'm like, I came in and said, I actually kind of do, just because of
Who, Washington?
yeah, just because of like the roster construction at the moment. Yes, they have the Big Ten, they have to fight for it, but like honestly, I could honestly see them fighting Oregon and Nebraska for it at the moment right now.
I mean, here's the thing: the Big Ten is stacked. Um, I mean, let's just look at the Big Ten as a whole right now. Let's look at the standings, right? So you got, so as of right now, Big Ten, Indiana is first, Ohio State is second, USC's third, Oregon's fourth, Michigan's fifth, Northwestern is sixth, Nebraska seventh, and Washington's right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, here's the thing: everyone after Oregon, I feel like if they get on a hot run, I think there's plenty of opportunities to get
Right.
a playoff spot.
Because we know it's
And
going to
I
come
was
down to Ohio State and Oregon. Like, those two are, like, for sure.
well, no, I think it's going to come down to Indiana, Ohio State. I
Really?
think Indiana has the rest of their schedule. Here's the rest of their schedule, right? Michigan State at home, UCLA at home, at Maryland, at Penn State, home against Wisconsin, at Purdue.
Interesting.
They might be undefeated. They might go to the Big Ten championship game this year. I think Maryland is a tough out. I don't think Penn State is a tough out.
I mean, Penn State's a pushover. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one. Wisconsin, I'll be surprised if Luke Fickell makes it the entire year. Like, the way that Wisconsin has single-handedly lost their identity is crazy to me, because for years and years and years, Wisconsin's whole thing was, we are going to run the ball through your face, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And after Luke Fickell came in and tried to change the culture, like, it's not going to make sense. So I think Indiana makes the Big Ten championship. Ohio State's got at Wisconsin, home against Penn State, at Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, and then at Michigan. So I think they might be undefeated too. Like, the Big Ten. My thing is that the Big Ten is deep, but there's a lot of teams. Think about this: Penn State, Michigan State, Maryland, Illinois, UCLA, Minnesota, Iowa. Like, from the seventh best team to, like, even Rutgers, dude. Like, they all have really solid. Any team can beat anybody in this league.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. I really like your guys's. I really like your guys' team, though. I like your guys' quarterback. I think Williams is a stud. Like, every single time, like, I was watching that game, I was like, holy shit. He is making play after play after play after play after play. And it's just awesome.
Yeah, because even as, like, a freshman, because obviously he was redshirted at Arizona, and people were calling for him to be the starter last season. I'm forgetting the quarterback who we had last year, but because I believe he was also from Indiana, and we got him for the transfer portal, and he was our, like, kind of, like, bridge quarterback, and he was trying to make that push to the NFL, and he just kind of fell off.
Yeah.
And then Williams would come in for a play or two, because Jed Fish is always the type that will use multiple quarterbacks if he can. Like, if there's, like, one subpar quarterback, he'll kind of put in another quarterback to kind of, like, tandem it. Obviously, this year is different because DeMond Williams is a dog, and there's no really any reason to bring anyone else in. But the plays that he would come in last year, people were like, why aren't we starting DeMond Williams, even as a redshirt freshman? This is stupid. Like, what are we doing right now? So, again, I really like the trajectory for DeMond Williams. Obviously, him and Boston are going to be together for another season. It sucks that Jonah Coleman probably is going to go straight to the NFL next year, which is, honestly, I'm excited to see wherever he goes at the moment. Yeah. But I think UW has this kind of 2 to 3 year window. If Jed Fish can actually bring in recruits, we may actually be contenders in the Big Ten.
I think it's an interesting thing. I mean, you guys are sitting 4th in the Big Ten right now. Think about that.
Yeah.
And that's, like, with a 3-way tie. It goes Oregon, Michigan, Northwestern, Nebraska, and then you guys. No, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 team tie for the 4th best team in the Big Ten. That's wild to me. But, like, here's the rest of your schedule. You guys have big noon kickoff at Michigan. Michigan's looked wishy-washy.
We'll talk about that later on in the episode.
Yeah,
as
we'll
well.
talk a little bit later. But you guys got at Michigan, home against Illinois, at Wisconsin, Purdue, at UCLA, Oregon at home.
I like all those games, and we'll get to the Michigan one later.
I think they'll be. I think I think you'll only not be favored in maybe 3 games moving forward. You're not favored against Michigan. You you might be favored against Illinois, but if you're not, then it'll be a short spread
If we're not,
depending
I'm
on how that
taking the money
Michigan
line on
game.
that all day.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Illinois is a scrappy team as well, though. They've like the Big Ten is just so deep. It's deep, but it's not like deep in the same sense of the SEC being like deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but I think you guys got a chance. Your schedule's not as hard. Um, and I mean Nebraska's is at we got at Minnesota on Friday night, Northwestern at home, USC at home, at UCLA, at Penn State, home against Iowa. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit tougher, but I think it's very, very manageable right now. Um, but yeah, I like the depth of the Big Ten going in right now. Um, but let's move it over to Nebraska.
Yeah.
Um, I I mean, here's my thoughts. From what I saw, it wasn't. It was one of those games where if you look at the stat sheet and then you look at the score, you're thinking to yourself, how the hell is it? How the hell did they only win by 3?
Mm-hmm.
And I can point you at one thing:
There's
Dylan
one.
throwing 3 picks.
I was about to say that's the one step that kind of tells this game.
And here's the thing: at least from folks back home, everybody's losing their minds about him throwing 3 picks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit about the 3 picks.
Right.
I really don't. At the end of the day, we won the game. He throws a really bad ball in like the third quarter. In the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
He regroups, goes down, gets them to the goal line, which by the way, Heiner Harbor catching with that one-handed catch to get them first and goal was huge.
Right.
Like wide receivers were making plays left and right. And another big thing, Emmett Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Emmett Johnson went again, and I've said this every single time. He rushed for 176 yards on 21 carries.
Wow.
That's how you win games. That's how you win games. In the Big Ten, you have to run the ball. And we were -3 in the turnover game, and we still won the game.
Mm-hmm.
You should not like your odds of winning when you are -3 is not good.
I was surprised with the ability of how Nebraska was running against Maryland. Like, I thought Maryland's defense was going to hold firm against Nebraska, but Nebraska was just getting so many, like, yards after the run. Like, I think they were averaging, like 3.5 yards, 4.5 yards per carry. It was something insane like that. I was watching the game, like, I would, like, glance over because I had another game we'll get to later, obviously not in our favorite hosts segment, but, like, our normal college segment, on the other side. And every time I looked over at Nebraska, MD, because it's funny enough, it was perfectly in sync where every time that game would have a play, it would end, and then the next play would be on that side. So I actually could just perfectly alternate both sides. But Nebraska was just going crazy in that game. Like even with Rayola's like interceptions, like I don't know why Nebraska's fans are panicking. Like obviously, if it's against like a higher opponent, I would understand. But it's Maryland. Like I get they're tough, but it's like.
I mean, this is the best team that they've played, minus Michigan, and even Michigan. I think it has its moments. This is the best quarterback that we have faced so far this year, in my opinion.
Washington's really good.
Besides Sorsby from Cincinnati, I think he will probably end up being the toughest quarterback that the Huskers have faced this year. That guy from Cincinnati is fucking tearing it up in the Big 12.
But I was going to say, I hope Washington actually, this is going to sound crazy, I hope he transfers after the end of the season because I think he's a really good QB. I just think his development's just getting kind of pissed away at Maryland at the moment.
Yeah. Malik Washington?
Yeah.
He's a freshman, but he didn't turn the ball over.
Right, no, because
it's 0 interceptions.
Yeah, because my point is like I want to see him in a different system. Like I would want to see him with like more weapons and like because I honestly think he could probably be pro ready if possible. And
Yeah.
then I got a chat from Nick. He says Dylan makes me nervous when he throws the ball. It doesn't look like any other normal quarterback where they just put a lot of zip and velocity on it. Kind of just floats in there sometimes.
Depke, you're not wrong, but I will point to this. The way he puts that zip on that ball, like there are moments where he is throwing the ball in places where they should not. That touchdown to Lindenmeyer, the tight end, that ball goes over the hands of a defender and straight into the bread basket.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are so many there aren't a lot of college football quarterbacks right now that are making that throw and making it successfully.
Yeah.
He showed that last year in the Illinois game when he hit what's his bucket? Isaiah Nayor.
Mm-hmm.
On a scramble play. Like the kid, yes, does he throw a lot of picks? Absolutely. Washington is good. He'll get it back. I guarantee you too. I think he'll get poached. I think Loxley is a good coach for Maryland. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think Maryland has a lot of upside. They're young. They are a young team, but so is Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of just growing pains right now. And I think that once they hit their stride, they just have to establish the run.
Yeah.
Like I said, running the ball for 176 yards is massive. Massive. Special teams, again, showed up, got a big kick return, got them down to the 10-yard line on the opposite side of the field. They were playing field position. Nebraska is doing things that they haven't been able to do the last 10 years that is so much that I think gets overlooked a lot. Like, at least from me, and I think Nick can probably attest to this too, a lot of the older fans are like, well, we should have won that game by 17 points. Can we just be happy with winning the game? Like, even 5 years ago, this team finds ways to lose these games.
Right.
They lose these games, and we can't get over the hump. But now we are getting over the hump because Rule is making changes on the go, and he's making great moves. Hence why he's being considered for the Penn State job right now.
Yeah, because Matt Rule is a good college head coach. Just like point blank.
He's a good culture guy. He's a good team builder, and we'll talk about this when we talk about the preview of Nebraska, Minnesota, and we'll also talk about it when we talk about Penn State. But like, it's me as a Husker fan right now. I'm very, very pleased with with not like yes, we could have won that game by 17. Absolutely, we should have, but we didn't.
Also, with Rayola, like, even though I was dogging on you in the group chat, it's like, I honestly think for a sophomore quarterback right now, like, look at all the other sophomore quarterbacks, he's doing fine. Even with those interceptions, he's doing fine.
Dude, he's top 5 in QBR right now.
Mm-hmm.
His QBR, okay, he's not top 10 anymore. He's thrown 5 picks, but his QBR is 68.4. That's 43rd in the country. Out of 132 teams.
Mm-hmm.
He's 43rd. That's not bad. Rating versus conference opponents. He's a 155.8. Like, he's throwing the ball and he's completing 70% of his passes. Like, when was the last time we had a quarterback that could complete passes at that rate?
Right.
He's gonna, and here's the thing. At the end of his career, he is going to be the best Nebraska quarterback that has ever stepped on the field.
Mm-hmm.
He will have the passing yards record. He'll have the passing touchdowns record. He'll have the best completions percentage. He'll have every single passing category stat in the book. Yeah. And that's not saying much because Nebraska is not known for having good quarterback play. They have guys that can make plays with their legs. They don't have guys that can do what Dylan is doing right now. So I really want Nebraska fans to take a step back and realize that we're watching a kid make plays and literally put us in situations where we didn't have that 10 years ago.
Right.
Like, that's the whole point here is that Dylan's got it. He really has. Dude, his completion percentage was 67 last year, all of last year. Here's his stats for last year:
Mhm.
67% completion percentage, threw for 2,819 yards, through 13 touchdowns, 11 picks.
Mhm.
This year so far, through seven games, 73% passing percentage. So that's up by 6%. He's thrown 1,500 yards, or almost 1,600 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 5 picks.
Mhm.
Like, he has made leaps and bounds in his play, and it's very, very strange how people just want to be like, oh well, the 3 interceptions are concerning. Okay, yeah, like, they send him to Uncle Rico Pass Academy. But no, and here's the other thing: the defense showed up.
Mhm.
The defense stopped the run. Yes, did they give up some yards on the, like, in the air? Yeah, absolutely. But like, Cunanan made 2 field goals. Archie Wilson had 1 punt.
Mhm.
Like, the guys are getting it done. We had 108 yards. Kenneth Williams had 108 yards on 2 returns. Like, that's when it's all about field position, man. It's all about field position. And I'm really liking what this team is doing, and especially what Rule is saying. And I mean, here's the thing: receiving yards, Isaiah Hunter, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dane Key, 1 touchdown. Should have been 2 touchdowns, but they called a bullshit offensive pass interference.
I remember that. Yeah.
Lindenmeyer, 1 touchdown. Like, he's spreading the ball out. It's not just one guy; it's multiple guys. And Emmett just carrying the load is going to be really good for him moving forward. You know what I mean?
I know it's gonna ask, like, with Nebraska, obviously, again, I'm not as tapped into college as I am the NFL. Like, I've only gotten to college like the last couple of seasons. But do you remember the last time Nebraska was actually ranked? Because this is like, I feel like this is the first time in a while.
They were ranked last year, if I remember correctly, against Illinois. If I remember correctly, hold on. I believe they were ranked 25th,
Which is what they're currently at the moment.
Yes, it's been a while since they've been ranked, and rightfully so, because a lot of you got to prove it when you win, when you're being ranked. It's been a really, really long time since Nebraska's been ranked, and we're the 25th best team. Cincinnati's ahead of us, even though I think that we should be ahead of them since we won that neutral site game. But I mean, there's not a lot that I didn't like about this game. Turnovers weren't great. Whatever, move on. We won the game. We just got to take these wins and stack them. We're stacking them. Like, I don't care if it looks bad or what. Like, yes, do I want to see a clean game? Absolutely. But is that going to happen in the Big Ten? Absolutely not. You're going to have to win close games. That's how this works.
Yeah.
And it'll be the same way in when we play Minnesota on Friday. And we'll have to battle. You're gonna have to battle, and that's just the way the Big Ten is. Do we want to touch on LSU? Did you see much of this game?
No, because I don't have access to the SEC network on Xfinity. So, I mean, if you want to talk,
really,
no, I don't. Because it's not. We have the Big Ten network because obviously a bunch of us Washington fans got mad and they put it on the basic plan, but I don't have access to.
Really,
I don't have access to the SEC network.
Add that?
No, it's an additional like $40 to $50 a month to get, like, because that will add like NFL Network and like FS2 and a couple other like channels.
Oh, that's rough.
Dude, so I only have the Big Ten network and like ESPN and like obviously CBS and Fox and all the other mainstay networks, but I don't have the SEC network.
To hit on that, our skill positions are really talented this year. Wide receiver group, tight ends, and running back are all better than last year. Absolutely, 100%. Couldn't agree more with you, Nick. Like, they are so much better than last year. I think the only thing, and here's the other thing that I forgot to mention: the offensive line played great. They didn't give up a ton of sacks. It was really, really good to see.
which is
that the offensive line is getting better week to week.
Which is great that you mentioned that, because I remember you were talking about last week with Michigan State. You were worried about because you were like, "Oh, we're going to do great because Dylan Raiola is not going to really get touched much because Michigan State's D line is not that good." And then obviously, I was kind of thinking
Maryland.
on the flip side of that because Washington played Maryland last week, and I remember them constantly getting to Devon Williams. So I was wondering how that
Oh
matchup
yeah.
was going to be for the flip side for Nebraska.
So here's the thing. Like they're like Maryland's a young team.
Mm-hmm.
Maryland's a young team, and they have so much going for them. They are so young that it doesn't even matter, like what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it like they were able to get to Dylan, but it wasn't as consistent as I thought it was going to be. You know, and I think that's the good thing is that each week the offensive line is starting to get better.
Right.
But yeah, that's that. We spent a lot of time on Nebraska, but LSU beats South Carolina 20-10. It was looking a little dicey in the first half. Garrett Nussmeier really kind of he didn't have a like. Here's the thing, LSU didn't have a great game. Like looking at the stats, usually I know Ryan is still kind of figuring out what's going on. So he threw 2 picks. They didn't play a clean game, and they had 2 fumbles. Or one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They had 1 fumble, but they put the ball on the ground 2 times. They lost it once. And threw 3 picks. So it's like, or 2 picks. So that's 3. They should have lost this game in all sense of that.
Yeah, because I remember coming into the game, I remember George was high on South Carolina. He was the only one that rocked with them because he was just like, he just doesn't trust Brian Kelly as a head coach.
Yeah, and I don't really trust him either. I don't like Brian Kelly as a head coach because I think he's just fake. He's fake as all can be, and like it's just so weird. If I was an LSU fan, here's my thing. I like LSU. I think they're a fun college. I think they have a great atmosphere. Brian Kelly's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like he started off the whole tenure with doing the fake Southern accent, and it's just like, dude, that's not the vibe, you know.
Also, in
You
Louisiana is weird.
Louisiana is very weird.
No, man, like doing that in the state of Louisiana is really weird.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like you're not from the region. Like, why are you doing this fake accent? Like it's, you know, it's just weird.
Did he think it was gonna be like very charming to like the young adults there? Like that's weird.
I don't know, but I will say this: LSU's defense did show up. And that's the thing. Like the last couple of years, the defense has been a problem, and they're starting to figure it out on defense. And I think that's where they're gonna end up having to play. I think they're gonna have to lean on that defense. Garrett Nussmeier, I don't think he's playing healthy, and I think that's a struggle for them. I think if he was fully healthy, like he was in the Clemson game, I think it would go a whole lot better for them. But I mean, as long as their defense is able to keep up, again, I tell you, the games that we've talked about, a lot of these teams that are winning games are rushing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting 100 yards, 70 yards. Like if you look at all these winners, they are doing really well rushing the ball.
It's interesting to see like the dichotomy between like the NFL and college, because I kind of feel like they just feed off of each other in terms of like play calling and like play style. Like for the last I would say up from like 2017, which is gonna be funny because you're gonna say the Chiefs were the origin of this, to 2023. I would say like both leagues were predominantly passing leagues.
Oh, for sure.
And then I feel like with the Eagles the last couple of years, with like the boom of like Saquon Barkley and what's been going on there, and like the resurgence of like Derrick Henry and that kind of stuff with Baltimore, it's like it's kind of flipped again. It's like because like the running back was like a less value position because like, oh, we can always just replace them. Like who really cares what the value of the running back is? And then of the last couple seasons with the NFL, now you're seeing that kind of bleed back into college, where now they're realizing we need that like kind of like elite caliber running back to stay with it.
No, I think that's a fair point. I think it just comes down to personnel and coaching. I mean, Nebraska has been predominantly a running team. That was their bread and butter, even when Bob Devaney was there in the 60s and 70s. They didn't pass much. And that's what Nebraska is known for. So seeing Dylan Raiola throw the ball is just, I think it's still kind of people are getting used to it. But again, I think college football is in a really good spot right now. And the dichotomy of the game is teams are so much better. You're not seeing blowouts like you are used to seeing. Games are closer than they are. So I think that's a good sign. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's gonna be the recap for our teams. Around the nation, week 6. Let's just get it out of the way.
Let's just
Northwestern
rip the Band-Aid
upsets
off.
Penn. Yeah. Northwestern upsets Penn State. Penn State is the first ever team to be favored by more than 20 points and lose consecutive games.
How? What on earth is going on in that locker room?
And here's the thing. James Franklin gets fired, and everybody's saying, oh, it's because of the last 3 games. Oh, it's been the last 3 games. Well, the AD comes out yesterday and says, no, it wasn't just the 3 games. We looked at everything. We looked at the playoff last year. And, I mean, it's a fair point. They beat Boise State and SMU and then got beat by Notre Dame. Like, they didn't – I guess the way you look at it is that they didn't play – they played lesser opponents.
I'm sorry. I feel like that's just organization owner talk to make it sound like they're making the right decisions and like they're sounding sane of mind. I don't disagree with them firing. I just think it just came too early. If you're really that concerned about what they were doing in the playoffs last year, why didn't you rip the Band-Aid off before the season and found a head coach earlier?
Because they were preseason, they were number 2 ranked team in the country.
Yeah, but if you're worried about your head coach's performance in the playoffs and beating lesser teams and you don't think he's well equipped to take your team far, why would you keep him?
I don't know. Like, this is the thing. Nebraska's also done this. Nebraska did this to Frank Solich. They did it to Bo Pelini at the end of the year when he was there. He was winning 9-10 games a year. They got rid of him because they couldn't win the big game.
Yeah, because
and look how well that's happened.
I also think it's not only like organization malpractice. I also think it's disrespectful to the players because you just told your players, hey, we just don't really care about the season. We didn't really think you guys were going to do anything anyway, so we're just going to kind of waste a year of your guys' 4 years in college, potentially 5 years if you guys got redshirted. Who cares?
Well, I mean, look at the recruiting classes. The commits in the 26 and 27 classes for Penn State are dropping like flies.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. Like, you can't expect these guys. And here's I 100% agree with you. Why are you – I understand you want to stop the bleeding before it gets worse. I understand that. But – and this is going to sound selfish for me – now you've made the narrative so much harder for Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
And as a Nebraska fan, like, Matt Rule is and here's the other thing, though. This is where I go back and forth on, okay, he's probably gone. Oh, he's probably going to stay. He came out in a press conference yesterday and said that he likes where he's at. He's not going to talk about a job while the season's going on. That's coach talk.
Mm-hmm.
That's, hey, I don't really want to talk about it. Let's focus on what things at hand.
It's okay, I don't want to rock the locker room and piss off my players.
Exactly. Like, what is he supposed to say? And then here's the other thing. He played for Joe Paterno. His alma mater is Penn State. He has built now 3 programs, depending on what Nebraska does this year, pretty successfully. And the fucking AD was his AD when he was at Temple.
Mm-hmm.
Everything screams that he is the logical pick. But the thing is, you just got rid of a guy that literally does. Matt Rule has not played, and not me bashing on Matt Rule just because I want to keep him, but the guy has done even his record against top 20 teams is even worse.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm Penn State, Matt Rule might make sense in a sense, but why would you want to take a guy that you just fired for another guy that can't get the job done here?
I'm also sorry for throwing this out there into the universe when I say this next sentence, but if Matt Rule leaves, is there a possibility next season that Dylan enters the transfer portal to go to Penn State? I'm sorry, I have to throw that out there because it's an honest question.
Because that's an honest question. I think it's likely. I don't know,
because
I think the ties to Nebraska are very strong with that family because his dad played there, his uncle's there. I don't know. And then Dylan came out today and he was like, "Nah, he's staying." So I don't know, but
is that the quarterback saving face to the locker room, or is it I don't actually know what's going on and Matt Rule is keeping me in the dark?
I don't know. It also, here's the thing: there's a clause in his contract that he has to let the athletic director know if he has been approached with taking another job, and I'm assuming that Penn State has probably reached out to him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a logical thing. But now I'm hearing, oh, it could be Marcus Freeman. It could be Eli Drinkowitz from Missouri. It could be all of these teams. And here's the thing, and it sucks for these teams that have really good head coaches because now the narrative is going to be, well, his name is attached to this opening during the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
When Nebraska has the chance to make a move here and be a really good team, and they're really doing solid things, now they have to deal with the narrative of, well, is Matt Rule going to be there? Like these questions, I wish Matt would just come out and say, I am not taking that job. I love Penn State, but I love where I'm at. He said some sort of version of that, but he was like, I don't make these decisions. Julie makes these decisions, his wife.
Yeah, but that's also like, that screams to me, I'm considering both options, but I don't want to piss off either side of the coin.
My thing is fucking throw an offer at him that he cannot refuse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Give him the most NIL money. I don't care. Pay him more money. He's doing such a good job here that Nebraska needs stability.
Mm-hmm.
And good stability, and that's what Matt Rule offers. So if his agent comes back and goes, hey, well, we're hearing from Penn State, what do you got to offer? I'm throwing the bag at him.
Yeah.
I'm throwing the bag at him because he is such a good coach, and I like the way he's running things now. And I think it's very, very obvious that Rule wants to be here. He wants to be here, but it makes sense on him getting calls and stuff like that. Nick says the downfall of Penn State football, getting rid of good in pursuit of great. Good luck to the next guy that fills in. They may have a short leash. Yeah, that's just how college football is. This is the nature of the beast in college football right now.
Yeah,
and it's very unfortunate because the transfer portal is gonna tear teams apart. My whole concern is let's focus on Minnesota and let's move on. But I think, and here's the thing, if I'm Penn State, I'm going after I think Kyle Dillingham from Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hell of a coach. He can make a splash. I think he's a good recruiter. He can resonate with players. But like, here's the thing: if you're Penn State, you have to hit it out of the park with this hire.
Right.
You have to.
Also, I don't blame. I think that's also smart on Penn State to go out of conference. Try to like get higher tier like Big 12 teams or AEC teams and like try to rip them into the Big 10 because like I think that's honestly smarter than trying to. I guess that kind of works to Penn State's favor, like if you're eating your own, but it's still kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't see it like that. I see it as, hey, let's get the best option, and it just screams like Rule's gonna leave, and that's just I hate that.
And
I hate that so much.
if Rule leaves, do you think he'll leave mid-season, or do you think he'll try to finish Nebraska
No,
out and then next
no,
year will
he'll
be?
finish. I think he'll finish it out. I truly do. I think he'll finish it out. And people are saying, "Oh, well, Dana should just take over." Dana Holgerson does not want to be a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He has said it multiple times that he does not want to be a head coach. He doesn't want to have to deal with the NIL. He doesn't want to have to. He just wants to call plays. If Rule leaves, Dana's probably gone.
Yeah, I mean,
so is the rest of the staff.
That is how coaching works. You take your best personnel with them. Unless Nebraska somehow gives one of these staff members and they think they're just as valuable as Rule and gives them a bag.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's the thing. I can't imagine the team right now. I hope the team is just like, all right, we're just shutting that all out. Like we're focusing on Minnesota. We can't these distractions. We got to just.
I'm hoping Matt Rule's being a leader, even if he is considering that, and telling everyone to shut up and like focus on the game and like close out the noise.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that's the case. But yeah, Penn State, yeah, sorry, just had to really push that into like Nebraska, and because I've been thinking about this ever since that happened, and I was like, Jesus Christ, no. Another Big Ten team, Indiana upsets Oregon. Oh my God, Cignetti is a fucking boss.
Look, I love it as a UW fan. Anytime Oregon has their downfall, I'm always like cackling. Because like how like Michigan fans are about Ohio State, that's me with Oregon. When Oregon is down, I'm happy.
100%. Whenever Iowa's down, I'm ecstatic. I love it when they lose games. It's so refreshing to see the Iowa fucking Hawkeyes lose games. It's so much fun. I love it.
And the fact that he lost on a game-sealing pick just made it so much better.
Well, Fernando Mendoza played a hell of a game.
Yeah,
that guy's being considered for the Heisman, and I understand that a lot. I think he's a good quarterback. Dante Moore had kind of a not so great game. I mean, he turned the ball over 3 or 4 times. But like it's insane how good Cignetti is turning that team around after 2 years, because now we used to tell people, give coaches 3 or 4 years to build their culture, go through that, and we're not seeing that. Kirk Cignetti turned it around last year. He's just doing it again this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I mean, Mendoza didn't have, hold on here. I'm looking at the box score. Again, the Mendoza was 1 for 1. He had 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 215 yards, 20 for 31. Dante Moore had 2 interceptions. That's how you lose the game. That's how you lose the game. And they were minus. Yeah. No, wait. Yeah. It was even. -2 for.
Because remember.
Wait. Indiana was +2. So again, it's turnovers and running the ball. Yeah, I keep saying this.
If you remember last week, I was torn on Indiana or Oregon, and I just leaned Oregon just because of reputation at that point, because Oregon has just always been the big bad boss besides Ohio State of the last couple years in the Big Ten. So, and even the Pac-10 Wells years, it was just like, I'm always like, oh, Oregon is always the big bad. So I was just like, Oregon is going to find a way to inevitably just bullshit their way into another victory. But the fact that Indiana just went into Portland and just shut them up was absolutely an insane sight to see in college football.
You mean Eugene?
No, I was saying Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah, but they went into Eugene. They
Eugene.
don't play in Portland.
Oh, Eugene.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the hell? They moved the campus? I think Indiana is a good team. Like I said, I think they could give Ohio State a run for their money, and they might just get that opportunity in the Big Ten championship game,
Yeah.
for sure. Speaking of the Ohio State Buckeyes, they just keep winning.
Yeah,
they just keep winning, no matter if it's close or whatever. In their game against Illinois,
Mhm.
But they put up 34 points.
Yeah.
It's just Ohio State just doing it at clips.
Remember when you were gonna pick against Ohio State yesterday on the last podcast episode, and we were all like, "What are you doing, Luke?"
Yeah, glad I didn't, because Ohio State is really good. Speaking of which, what were the records?
That's what I was legitimately waiting on, because I was like, we were about to get to the next week predictions. Starting with college, because obviously we'll get to NFL when we get to NFL.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to go like bottom up, like last place?
Yeah.
In order. Okay. So, in last place is
me.
Yeah, your boy Luke.
Damn! What? How?
Your record was 2-3.
Oh God. Well, that's not terrible after picking 5. So now my record is.
I can leave. I'm gonna leave overall after we do NFL because I count it.
Oh, okay,
overall.
Okay.
Even though I think it's bullshit, I do overall.
Okay, all right.
In third place, even though it's technically a tie across 2 people, I'm gonna just say the tie was me and Ryan. We both were 3-2.
Oh, and George was undefeated?
George went 4-1.
Damn.
Because
George.
he picked South Carolina.
That's
if he picked
right.
LSU, he would have gone undefeated.
He would have gone undefeated. Damn. Fuck. I got to do better.
No, I just laugh because you're like last week you were so cocky. You're like, I'm the big man on campus.
I was. I went 13-2, and then this week I went 2-3. Just it goes to show you guys, even if you know ball, you can sometimes get it wrong. Going into so overall record, we'll go over that later. All right, so week 7 bets. Nebraska at Minnesota. Friday night, 8 a.m. kickoff. The line originally started at 4. Now it's minus 9.5. Nebraska. Minnesota is plus 9.5. Over under is 46.5. And Nebraska money line is minus 360, and Minnesota is plus 280. Thoughts on this game, Harith?
I mean, honestly, coming into this game, I'm kind of automatically just leaning Nebraska. Like, I haven't really seen much out of Minnesota this year. Like, I also haven't really watched any Minnesota games so far. And, like, looking at their schedule, they really haven't been impressive, is the word to say. Like, they're just kind of there. They exist. They're just kind of floating there.
That's literally PJ Fleck's existence at Minnesota. Literally. No, I'm not even kidding. Like, they're there. They don't win, like, going away. Like, they just don't. They win close games. That's how they are built, and that's why he's been so successful. Their first game they played Buffalo 23-10. Northwestern State they blew out, which was an FCS team. Which
doesn't really count.
Which is Ryan's alma mater.
Oh,
remember?
Sorry. I respect Northwestern State on this podcast. Yeah, that was disrespectful.
They won 27-14. Or no, they won 66-0. Then they went to Cal, lost 27-14. Rutgers, they won 31-28 by 3. They lost to Ohio State 42-3. Purdue, they won by 7, and then now they have us. So I mean, it's again, it's Minnesota. I will say this: Nebraska hasn't beaten Minnesota in 6 years. They've won the last 5 meetings. We haven't beaten them since 2017.
That's rough, buddy.
2017, yeah. We're going all white. We got destroyed at Indiana last year, going all white. But I have a sneaking suspicion that we're gonna win this game. Even with all of the fucking distractions, I think Nebraska has a chance to win this game. I don't like the 9.5. I don't. A team that hasn't blown out teams and hasn't won by a margin more than 10. I mean, I just don't feel comfortable with 9.5. I mean, Nebraska won by 3 the other night. We won by 11 against Michigan State. And we won by 3, and we lost by 3 against Michigan. So, I mean, I don't know where they're getting the 9.5.
I think they just saw, Nebraska ranked. And they just were like, just make the score bigger.
They might. That might have been the whole thing. But like it doesn't make me comfortable. So I'm gonna take Nebraska money line. I don't like the 9.5, and I kind of like the under here, 46.5 as well. What's your play?
I'm just gonna play it safe. I know I play it safe every single time, but I'm just going Nebraska money line. I'm not gonna play around with Minnesota and try to do spread.
It's a Friday night game. I will be streaming on the whatever app.
You can say TikTok here.
Okay, yeah, I'll be streaming it on TikTok. So go over and watch Gridiron Guyz over on TikTok if you want to see me crash out. The stream for the Chiefs game was pretty fun, so that means anything.
I had fun with the Bears Commanders.
Yeah, a lot of engagement there. Next game we have LSU at Vanderbilt. Vandy's favored by 2.5. Over under is 48.5. And Vandy money line is minus 132. LSU is plus 110. This game doesn't make sense to me.
Why is Vanderbilt?
I don't understand
favored?
Why it's minus 2.5. Maybe it's because Diego Pavia plays great at home.
I was looking at like both teams, and I was trying to figure out how Vanderbilt hasn't beaten anyone impressive besides. Look, Ryan's coming up for LSU. Oh my God! Look at that timing.
Oh God, I am zoomed in. Hold on, let me fix that.
So funny. That's actually insane timing on Ryan's part.
Ryan. Okay, Ryan. Nebraska, Minnesota. Who you taking?
Oh, hold on. What do I got? Hold on, let me open up my notes. I got Nebraska.
Do you? Okay, but having watched them play, minus 9.5, doesn't that seems like a lot of points, right? Like I'm not just not being reasonable here.
I mean, I've gotten to see Minnesota play. Mind you, it was against my alma mater, and they scored 70 points.
No, they scored 66 points.
That's
okay. Good, you looked up the score.
Good,
yeah, they ran out of fireworks. They allegedly ran out of fireworks.
Good, you joined before because because Luke was going off and he's like, "Well, we beat an FBS school," and I was like, "Well, that doesn't really count." And then he goes, "Well, it's Ryan's alma mater." I'm like, "Never mind, point retracted."
No, it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count. But also, what are your thoughts on James Franklin getting fired halfway through the year? And
I'm always iffy when you fire coaches in the middle of the season.
I don't like it. I don't like that vibe
Thank
either.
you.
And now it fucks me because now it's like, oh, is Rule gonna go? Is Rule gonna go?
Because now you never know. Now you don't even know what's gonna happen, and for at least a couple of weeks with Penn State, you don't know how they're gonna play.
I mean, to be honest, I hope their interim head coach does well so that he can keep that job. So that Rule's like, never mind, I don't want it.
I don't want them to fail. But yeah.
But like I was saying like earlier, like I think when you fire a coach midseason, especially at the college level, you just kind of fuck over all your players at the same time because it's like you don't know what the juniors and seniors are thinking at that point. Maybe they're actually trying to make that push to the NFL, and now they just got fucked out of a year that
Especially
doesn't
in the
really count.
age of the transfer portal, when like you already have players backing out, bowl season
Mhm.
Oh,
for
yeah.
whatever reason, with
Yeah.
no punishment. So it's like,
What's the real
Yeah.
draw to this?
mhm.
Back to LSU. How the fuck is Vandy ranked? Why is Vandy favored in this game, Ryan?
I mean, I can understand it. They're having a solid season. I'm surprised. I don't have the notes up.
Minus 2.5, Vandy. It's basically a pick'em game. Why though? LSU's defense showed up last
I was gonna
week.
say, yeah, their defense. I mean, they're still iffy on offense, and I mean, y'all probably already talked about that game, but I can see it being close, but I still seeing LSU winning. I will say, I want to go back to 2019, the last time that LSU played in Nashville.
Oh yeah.
The
Joe
fans
Burrow.
drank the city dry. The LSU fans drank the city dry.
Which
There were
makes sense.
bars that ran out of vodka at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
for an 11 a.m. kickoff.
Dude, I tell you what, and I've said this, Ryan, we talked about this. LSU fans, like that's why if I had a second team, it would be LSU because y'all's fans are fucking electric. It is so funny.
The concession stands in Vanderbilt Stadium ran out of beer, and there were lines around the stadium. The delivery people received a standing ovation from LSU fans when more beer was delivered.
Dude, it is so sick. I love that so
And last
much.
time it was essentially an LSU home game. Like it was probably 20 or 25,000 LSU fans in that stadium. And I'm pretty sure it holds like maybe 35,000 total.
Yeah, they're doing renovations on that stadium too, aren't
Yeah.
they? Or they were at the time.
They were as like recent as like last year or 2 years ago. They may
Okay,
be
that's what
finishing
I
them up
thought.
right now.
That's what I thought. This line just doesn't make sense to me. I think LSU's the better team.
Mhm.
I think they're given the 2.5 because it might be it is at home for Vanderbilt,
Mhm.
and Diego Pavia has played a lot better at home. But still, it's LSU.
I think I don't think he does well against that defense.
I don't think so either. I think this is a weird line for me. I'm taking LSU plus 2.5, honestly, and I might just take a money line because, like, it just that 2.5 doesn't make any sense to me.
Mhm.
Harrod?
No, I'm absolutely agreement. Like this game makes no sense to me. Vanderbilt hasn't really beat, like I said, anyone like really impressive this year. Well, LSU is kind of shaky because of Brian Kelly. It's still not gonna like move away from them just because it's a Brian Kelly team. Like,
Ryan, would you love it if he took the Penn State job? Because I would.
I don't think he gets
I would
offered
love
the
that.
Penn State job.
I don't think so either.
I don't think he would leave because I don't think Penn State would offer him as much
money.
And
I don't know. Well, now we're getting to talk of which is the better conference, which is the more prestigious, like honestly, I think LSU has got the edge over Penn State, but Penn State, like, it's up there. It's up there. But no, I like LSU. I think LSU is probably gonna win this game. Harith.
yes.
Washington at Michigan. You got the big noon kickoff game. You know Dave Portnoy is going to be there yelling his face off, saying that Washington doesn't deserve to be on the same field as Michigan. Michigan's favored by 6.5. Over-under's 50.5. What do you think?
So, okay, this one is kind of hard for me as a Washington fan because they're very iffy when they change time zones. Like Maryland, they woke up way too late into that game. The reason why that was a 20-0 first half was because Washington historically, since coming to the Big Ten, doesn't adjust to time zone differences. And I think Maryland, while they are a scrappy team, they're upcoming and they're new, Michigan is not that. So my worry is they're going to go into the big house. They're going to wake up super late, and it's going to be a little bit too late, and Michigan's just going to pull away with it.
I will say this. I think Washington covers the 6.5.
Yeah.
I watched them play against Rutgers, and I've saw the highlights we were sitting here watching the highlights again, and I told you I love watching Deontay Williams. Demond Williams. Guy can sling the fucking rock. And he's great on his leg. He's great running the ball as well. That's going to give Michigan fits, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to give them fits. I like Washington plus 6.5 here. A lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
I think they'll cover the spread. I just don't think they're going to win this game. I think the big house is a little bit too big for them right now at the moment.
You never know. You never know. I like them 6.5. Ryan?
Yeah, I got Michigan in this one.
Really?
Yeah.
You just think it's too much?
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I'm not sure about the over under though. I don't know where if I would have had to taken that bet, I don't know which way I would go.
Go under?
Yeah, maybe. I guess to be, I don't know. Yeah.
That's great. No, I think Michigan, in my opinion, is overrated. I don't think they're that great. They needed us to turn the ball over twice, and we played a solid second half and kept it close. We just didn't execute. I think Michigan is very, very vulnerable, and it would not surprise me if Washington wins this game. Sharon Moore's ass is gonna get feeling a little bit warmer, because Michigan is just like Penn State. You don't lose games. Like, you're not supposed to lose games to inferior opponents, and that could happen.
No,
it could very much happen.
I don't disagree. Like, I think there's a strong possibility that Washington wins this game. There's just a lot of factors at play that I could see them losing this game easily as well.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
I'm just out of safety. Like, I'm not sorry to pull a George, because like you should be rocking with your team most of the time. I'm gonna go Michigan for this game. Again, we already listed off the rest of their schedule. I feel confident the rest of the way forward. This is the only game that I'm kind of seeing the other side of the coin.
Well, I mean, luckily for you guys, you have Oregon at home.
Yeah,
that's the one plus for you guys. Next game we got Ole Miss at Georgia. Georgia's favored by 7.5. Over under 53.5. Ole Miss, what the fuck? They barely beat Wazoo.
That was the homecoming game, I'm pretty sure as well. Like that's the game you don't. Yeah.
How the hell did you barely beat Washington State?
Brother, I don't know, but that does not bode well going into fucking Georgia, dude. At all. Like, Georgia is playing really good.
They're gonna clap Delta ass.
I think so too. I'm gonna take Georgia money line. Georgia is after losing to Alabama, I think they've jumped back and have really made some good strides on the offensive side of the ball. Gunnar Stockton is looking pretty well. Oh my God, like, some of these games just don't look good.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Georgia's coming off. They beat. They've got 2 straight wins. They beat Kentucky 35-14 and at Auburn 20-10. The rest of their stretch, they have a bye week next week. They have Florida at Mississippi State, home against Texas, Charlotte, and then they end with Georgia Tech. So I mean, their schedule's looking pretty good down the rest of the stretch. But I think Georgia gets the upset here at home.
Mm-hmm.
It's Kirby Smart doesn't lose a whole lot of games like this unless the other team's Alabama. You know what I mean? Ryan?
I hope Georgia kicks their ass. Ole Miss fans have been pissing me off on Twitter for the past day. A lot of SEC fandoms have been, because they released the times for next week's games, and they're upset LSU has another night game. Mind you, it's against Texas A&M.
Oh, that's a rivalry game. That needs to be, and it's a top 5 matchup.
Yeah, but people, they were getting annoying, especially Ole Miss fans, because they feel like they don't have the respect and getting night games and all that. It was just annoying.
Brother, it happens all the time too.
It's also Tiger Stadium, that's notorious for their night games. Like nobody's
for
gonna pass
sure.
up. Yeah, but
Like
I
Crimea
mean,
River.
Like it's
I will say they did bring up the statistics, the stats over the last like 5 years. I think like 85% of LSU's home games have been at night. Well, like in the case of like Georgia, it was like 28%. Like there was some
grievances.
yeah, but I was like, who gives a shit? Some of these stadiums, like nobody watches these teams for their night games, but for LSU, people are tuning in because it's nighttime in Tiger Stadium.
For sure.
We're going off topic. I hope Georgia kicks their ass. I'm taking money line Georgia.
Yeah, I think Georgia. Are we all in agreement here?
Yeah, 100% Georgia money line, full send.
Is there another game that you guys like that we didn't touch on? We've got Miami. We've got Miami and Louisville that are also playing on Friday night, so that's kind of an interesting game.
Got Tennessee, Alabama, USC, Notre Dame.
Ooh, Tennessee,
I
Alabama.
think that's game day this week. Is Alabama.
USC, Notre Dame. Who wins that game?
I think Notre Dame wins that.
You think so? Jaden Myalva has been playing really good ball lately, though.
They're 8.5 favorites.
That doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right at all. Oh, and then you have the Battle of the Mormons. That's always fun.
That's a great
That's
ass
always
name.
fun. Dude, I like Utah
should trademark
BYU.
that.
The
Dude,
Battle
Utah
of the
BYU
Mormons.
Dude, Utah BYU is always a fun little rivalry to watch. It is so fun to watch.
Luke, I'm surprised you
They
didn't go.
hate each other.
I'm surprised you didn't go Tennessee, Alabama.
Tennessee, Alabama is always good. It's the third Saturday in October. It's always a fun game to watch. I think Bama might win that game too.
So what's your like kind of locked in additional?
Honestly, USC Notre Dame. I think that's a entertaining game. It is at Notre Dame. USC's coming off a big win against Michigan at home. And I think it's a good look for the Big Ten. Notre Dame already has 2 losses, so they can't afford to lose a third game or else they're completely out of the playoff. And kind of going back to the whole conversation of who should be taking the Penn State job, Marcus Freeman's name is also in the running that they're trying to pitch. And my thing, if I'm Marcus Freeman, why do I take that job? If I'm Notre Dame, if I stay at Notre Dame, all I have to do is not lose 2 games, and I'm in the playoff every year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to play in a conference championship. We can schedule as hard or as not hard as whatever to fit the criteria, and you don't have to. You're guaranteed a spot as long as you don't have more than 3 losses.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would I do that? But yeah, I think my pick's Notre Dame, USC. I think USC actually wins that game. Anybody else? Anybody else got a fun game?
I mean, I'll go with the game I already mentioned. I'll go. I think it's gonna be a closer game. I'm still gonna go Alabama money line over Tennessee.
Nice.
I'll go with the Mormons. I'll take Utah.
That is such an entertaining game, though. Because guarantee you that what's that over under?
49.5.
I
would take the over in that game.
Oh yeah. Also,
those games are so high scoring.
Before we move into the NFL, actually, sorry for like listeners that are listening. This is like back VOD wise. I'm also gonna list off the college records again because Ryan's here.
Oh yeah.
So, in last place, we got Luke. We got third. We tied Ryan, so we were both at 3-2, and then George is at 4-1. If George went with LSU instead of going with South Carolina and trying to be a little bit of like a cocky boy,
you said Luke was last. What was his record?
2-3.
2-3.
Ah, okay. Which one did you? What was your?
Who did I lose?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I can't remember.
Oh.
I'll pull it up because I had it on a tracker.
Two and 3 is not bad after going 13-2 last week. I
You
will
went
take that.
Nebraska, LSU, Illinois. Remember, you went Illinois over Ohio State. That was your big one that everyone was giving you shit over.
Oh, fuck!
Oregon, Missouri. Because you also picked Missouri over
God damn it! Oh, that's
Alabama.
I'd picked Oregon and Oklahoma. At least mine made sense.
You went with
God.
two major upsets in the same go.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. That sucks. God damn it. All right, whatever. It's fine. Oh, I also kind of like that Texas Tech Arizona State game.
I was gonna pick that potentially as well, but I went off
That
of
is
it.
Texas Tech is so much fun to watch. Oh my god, I love watching Texas Tech. I don't understand why Garrett McGuire is, or not Garrett McGuire, McGuire from Texas Tech. His name's not being mentioned in more coaching stuff. But all right, that's college. Let's move to the NFL, and right on time, Ryan. Talk about your Saints, man.
I guess I can always rely on our kicker to, bring in the points. 4 for 4 on kicking, so 12
Hey.
of the 19 points.
What was the deal?
Our running game. The
Yeah,
one
I don't
touchdown was from Neal, but it was a 1-yard touchdown, and that was it. Rattler wasn't even bad. He just didn't throw any touchdown. He was 20 for 26.
Yeah, he's really making me eat my words.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Now he really is.
I think it was more about you guys ran into. I hate saying this. I never thought I would say this coming into the NFL season. You ran into a top 3 quarterback this year with Drake May. I didn't think I would be saying that this year. Who would have thought I would have been saying that this year? But here we are.
He was throwing some bombs even when the refs were bringing it back. They still
They're letting him throw it, and I think it's a shame that and I think the Titans as an organization have to be kicking themselves for firing
Rabel.
Rabel. I think he's a hell of a coach. I think he's a great coach. And what he's doing with New England, I think they're going to be a dark horse for a contender this year.
I also hate how much Josh McDaniels is making me eat my words, because I've always been so low on Josh McDaniels as a coach and coordinator, because for the longest time, I always thought the Mac Jones, that first season was just kind of a flash in the pan, whatever. Because he immediately went to the Raiders and just shit the bed as a head coach. So I kind of just ignored that season because he was still with Bill Belichick.
He's a coordinator. I think he's a coordinator for life. I don't think he's a good head coach. He's gotten 2 opportunities, both ironically in the AFC West, and has shit the bed both times. I don't think he is a good head coach. I think he is a coordinator, and he needs to just stay as a coordinator. But yeah, I mean, Ryan, what, you guys are 1-5? No, 2-5.
1-5.
No, 1-5. We only have one win.
Oh, really? I was trying to give you another one.
That doesn't work in the record books. I appreciate it though.
What do you think the biggest struggle is right now? Do you think it's the defense or just the running game?
I'd have to go back and look at scores to see if it's because the games haven't been blowouts.
No, they haven't by any means.
It's not like the Jets or the Titans this year.
Right.
Oh, God. Stinker after stinker after stinker after fucking stinker, dude.
Aside from that Seahawks game where we just shit the bed.
Oh, yeah.
I think run game has something to do with it. Was it 77 total rushing yards I think we had?
With Kamara, but also we have to
Kamara did better as a receiver this game.
Kamara's always been a better receiving back than an actual traditional ball cow.
Kamara is getting older in age. He's getting older.
Running backs do not last long in the NFL.
No, unless you have a great play caller that can ease off of that.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the other thing. I've been saying this. I think Kellen Moore is the right guy. I hope New Orleans sticks with him. I think that if he gets in weapons that will fit his system. He proved it last year with the Eagles. He was making calls for them that were just, look at the Eagles now. We'll get to them later on. But they didn't play well. They've taken a step back on offense.
It's just they got to stack more weapons besides Olave.
Agreed. Chris Olave is a great
Yeah.
receiver, but if he's your only target that you're throwing to, I think that's kind of that's not a great look. It's not a great look. Going from the Saints from one NFC South team to another. All right, Harris, let's go. Go ahead. Come on.
All right,
Let's
so
roll out.
we're gonna start this discussion with what really we should be talking about, which is surprisingly I'm not actually going to go with the Bucks first. I'm actually going to talk about the Niners, which is actually kind of the surprising thing. As much as like I was kind of hate watching the game just out of the spite for growing up in Washington and hating the Niners my entire life, how could you not feel for Fred Warner when his ankle got dislocated?
100%.
Because that's what happened to Chris
100%.
Godwin with the Bucks in Week 7 against the Ravens. It was the exact same injury, and it's like you got to start.
Is Raymond James Stadium just like terrible?
No,
for,
it's I've been on that field. It's natural grass.
Well, shit, you gotta make some changes. People are getting hurt.
Like it's legitimately natural grass. I mean, there's like sand underneath the grass, so like maybe that's what their cleats getting stuck under, between the grass and the sand underneath, because they always have to move it out for concerts and stuff. But like,
oh, that's true. Yeah.
Again, I kind of just like watching that play. As soon as Fred Warner went down, mentally I just knew that Tampa was gonna win that game almost immediately. Dude, Rashad White was averaging like 5 yards per run because Fred Warner was not in the game. He only played like 8 snaps and then immediately was taken out. So it's like, as soon as that happened, I knew Tampa was gonna win that game. Now I couldn't have predicted like Emeka Egbuka going down. Like that was the main.
Yeah, that's kind of a. But y'all didn't.
Oh
really
yeah. Speaking of which, I also can look
struggle
this
with
up. I forgot he had his MRI today. I can look this up live on the air because I did not
Yeah, there you
see
go.
that because I was not paying attention to NFL stuff besides the one thing that's in the group chat today. What is his injury?
I mean, Tez Johnson looked good.
I know it's a hamstring. I know Ian Rappaport was saying yesterday that he doesn't fear it's going to be anything crazy. Sorry, I'm still looking. Oh, there's Pro Football Focus. Yeah, no, it's what I thought it was. It's a grade 1 injury, so he should only be out for 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, well, that's not terrible.
But getting into the actual meat of the actual podcast, sorry, I wanted to get the Niners stuff first out of the way because I didn't want people to be like, "Oh, you're just a biased Bucks fan. You're to get on here and like," because like obviously I've shit talked the Niners before on this podcast because obviously I'm bred to hate the Niners. But like,
yeah, having been
Baker,
in Washington,
yeah, Baker, motherfucking Mayfield. Talk about willing your team to victory. I'm sorry. The one play I want to just, there's 2 plays I want to hone in on. 3rd and 19, 20-19 was the score. Baker looked dead to rights, scramble, broke 5 tackles to make a first down happen. I'm sorry. For MVP voting, just show the MVP voters that play. Because at that point, Emeka Egbuka was already out. We had Johnson & Johnson, an undrafted free agent, Tez Johnson, our 7th round pick, Ryan Miller, and Sterling Shepard were our wide receivers at that point. Baker Mayfield, because that's a do or die play. 49ers get the ball back there. They get it in good field position. They can go down and score and potentially get momentum. But Baker, that play should have been over like 3 or 4 different times. The fact that Baker broke all those tackles to will his team into a good play, and then afterwards he hits the 45-yard touchdown to Tez Johnson that flipped the entire game.
Yeah, I will say this: Baker Mayfield should be in the top running of the MVP. But am I surprised that Baker is playing the way he is? No, because if you watched him play in college, he was the same exact player, and I felt like a lot of teams weren't just letting him sling the rock, and I think that's what the Bucks are feeding into him. Make that play, go make any play that you can, just don't get hurt. And I think he's given the opportunity to do that.
Because that's the difference between Tampa and Cleveland and versus Carolina. Sorry, Carolina, I'm going to dog on you.
Yeah. Well, and LA.
Yeah. Well, no, I wouldn't say LA.
LA gave him the chance to really throw the ball and prove that he can do it.
No,
and he can.
No, I'm not going to say LA because LA, I was going to say more from a culture standpoint because I think Cleveland and Carolina tried to change Baker because, oh, you're too cocky, you're too arrogant, you need to be more professional, you need to be more of an adult quarterback. While I think when he came to Tampa, and I think also when he went to the Rams, they both just said, dude, just be yourself. It's fine. Like, if you just be yourself and, like, you lead by example, like, you'll do that. And then I also think the other major factor of, I think, why Baker is doing so well this year, not in 23, I think when Liam Cohen came in the offensive coordinator last year, because he was with them with the Rams, obviously, that during those, like, 4-game stretch, they were like, because remember, Baker only had like 2 days of studying with that Raiders game. So Baker was calling every single play from just memory and was just winging it. So I think Liam Cohen had such a trust in him, and I think he was able to get in Bowles' ear to be like, just let Baker call the shots. So I think that's why you're not feeling the effect of Liam Cohen going to Jacksonville and Guzard come in, is because Baker was designing and calling the shots for most of 2024. So that, and then Guzard was our passing game coordinator, so that's obviously all of that is just getting shifted over.
Moving in. Ryan, your thoughts on the Baker MVP?
Well, I'm worried for us in a couple of weeks. So
That's fair.
yeah,
That's fair. Who, if you had would he be in your top 5 MVP?
I don't think I really. This is really the first I've heard of anybody talk about MVPs this season, and maybe that's just because I'm not as in tune with professional football compared to college. But this is like the first time, even when I was opening up like the stats page for the Bucks 49ers game, like the first like news article was Baker Mayfield, something regarding the MVP. So I'm like, okay,
He's playing out of his mind.
mm-hmm.
Like, not to be.
I think if he keeps playing the way he is, I don't think anybody can say that he shouldn't get it. We'll talk about who I think should win the MVP.
But
in a little bit.
like honestly, like not to be like Nick Wright, but to me, it's like there's Baker Mayfield, and then there's a giant cliff, and then I would say it's Drake May. And I hate to say the third option because he's not winning games, but he's playing at least a good job. He's kind of like the Joe Burrow of this race. We're going to be surprised when I say this. I think Dak is currently in the running as well. He's just not winning games, but he is playing really good.
I can see that, but you're missing one big factor.
Am I missing Daniel Jones?
No.
Are you going to say Mahomes?
Yes,
100%.
Look at his stats. Look at his stats.
Okay, all right.
But like,
look at the stats.
I mean, we can get into Detroit KC because we're already kind of on the MVP discussion.
I will say this: Mahomes has accounted for 16 total touchdowns. He is leading the team in rushing, which is not a great stat to be doing it, but whatever.
To me,
that game Monday night or Sunday night was something that they needed that game.
Mm-hmm.
They needed a get right, not even a get right game, a game to prove that they can still do it, and they can still fucking do it, man. Like I was live on TikTok during the game, and all the comments were, "Oh, well, the Chiefs got bailed out, this and that." It's like, dude, they had 13 fucking penalties last week. They cleaned that up. They win that game. They had 0 penalties. Yes, every game is going to have an angle where, oh, man, that could have been called holding. Oh, well, wow, they called pass interference. Like, that's the way this works. You don't use, and this is the problem that I have with the NFL, like fandoms in general. Mm-hmm. They don't use their brain. They want to blame the refs for everything instead of blaming not even blaming the team, but like, if you have penalties, you have to overcome them.
Well, like, I'm gonna go like to the argument that I was like, even like as like a neutral fan, I'm like I wasn't really rooting for anyone in the game. I honestly, anytime, unless like there's some bullshit egregious call that like is like insane that like it was like the final play of the game and it decided everything type of call. I think anytime anyone starts blaming the refs, I just see it as childish. It's like,
yeah, same.
It's like there are, like every NFL game, if it's a close game, there are 3 to 5 plays you can point out usually and go, that's why they lost the game. But if you're going to sit here and go, oh, it was the refs. It wasn't the refs. The Chiefs just were playing amazing offensively, and then the Lions were just beat up on defense.
we took advantage of what was given, and Kelsey had a great game. Mahomes looked like an MVP. He has stats that could put him in the race. Josh Allen, for one,
To
what the
me,
fuck happened to him?
I was gonna say going back to the MVP discussion because obviously I didn't want to like interrupt your recap of the game, but it's like to me, I think the MVP is not just a stat award. I think it's also a narrative award. You got to have a good narrative. I don't think Mahomes is having a good narrative at the moment. I think Baker's having more of a narrative than Mahomes.
I mean, if they go on a run, like if they started 2-3 and then he wills them back, yes, Rashee Rice and all of that will help. By the way, this team is now fully healthy.
Yeah.
If you want to ask if the Chiefs are back, abso-fucking-lutely, dude. They showed up on defense. Rashee Rice is coming back. Like, Hollywood Brown, who hadn't really touched the ball this year, scored 2 fucking touchdowns. Kelsey had over 85 yards receiving, had 3 great catches. Like, this team is starting to get back to being scary, and the NFL is now on fucking notice. The NFL's on notice now. You got your shots in early. Just wait. Broncos, you're on notice. Raiders, you're on notice. Chargers, you're on notice.
Not
fucking
to be mean.
The Bills are on notice.
Are the Raiders really on notice?
Well, everyone in our division is on notice because everybody thinks that we're going to lose the division this year. So everybody can suck my nuts. Shut up, Ryan. I think and here's the other thing. The fight at the end of the game is a tough look. Did Juju, like, here's the thing. If I'm Brian, if I'm Branch, yes, it's annoying that they were blocking, whatever. Like, I understand, like, we all have, like as a player, you all have to feed your families, and this is how you do it. But at the end of the game, you cannot be swinging. You're gonna get suspended no matter what. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I saw, like, I think it was CBS put out like a video like shortly after the game. They were trying to find like the cause in the game that caused Branch to like rash out on Juju. They were pointing on a play where like Mahomes like scored a touchdown and he flexed on Branch, and that was kind of what people were pointing at this, which I don't get from an NFL player standpoint, like why that would, like, it's to me like, it goes back to what Joe Burrow said a long time ago. So honestly, here's my hot take. I think taunting has always been a fucking stupid ass penalty. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think
100%.
Because like if you're getting scored on or if you're getting sacked and a player celebrating, fucking stop them. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And if you want to make
100%.
it, like, if the NFL still wants to keep it a penalty, just make it a 5-yard penalty. Why is it a 15-yard penalty? Why is it the same effect as roughing the quarterback or unsportsmanlike conduct? Like we're acting like it's on the same caliber as like helmet to helmet or like injuring a player. It's not. Someone just was talking shit.
Yeah.
These are
Ryan,
grown men. Also, like, sorry, like, I remember my taunting rant. Like, it's weird also because, like, the NFL kind of supports it in a weird way. Like, they'll find a player or they'll flag the play, and then they'll post it on social media being like, look at this guy talking shit. It's like they benefit from it.
They were like, they had cameras on it live, because sometimes you don't typically, they try to stay away from that. At least in the past, they've, like they may mention it, but they, like, the producers in the trailer are like, that's not show it. So I was kind of surprised they went through with showing it, especially at the end of the game when they had no purpose to really do so.
Oh no, for sure. Ryan, your thoughts? Are the Chiefs back?
So are you confident that they may win their division? Because I just pulled it up. The Chargers are already 3-0 in y'all's division.
A lot.
They have to. All the Chargers have to do is win basically one game. And it could be against y'all, and that knocks y'all out.
Yeah, well, they have to play us in Arrowhead. They have to play us in Arrowhead, and we've won the division 9 straight times, Ryan.
Okay. When's y'all's next division? I guess is it next week? The next division game?
We play the Raiders. And then we have 2 against the Broncos, and then I think
Chargers.
we play the Chargers in between there.
Yeah. And ask me again when y'all play the Broncos in a few weeks. I guess in a month from now.
Also,
I think we're fucking back.
Luke,
I think we're fucking back.
I'm gonna go back.
Okay, time out. I will ask you, Ryan, after we play the Commanders. After we play the
I mean, I
Commanders
guess
on Monday night.
Okay.
But I was gonna say, going back to what I said before the season, Luke. I know this is on the podcast, but I'm gonna kind of reveal it on the podcast. Jim Harbaugh in year 2 has always done well as a coach. I don't care if it's Michigan. I don't care if it's San Francisco. And now with the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh in year 2 is a dog as a head coach. I think when he took, because I remember I looked this up because I remember I was curious how the Niners were doing. I think they were like 7-9, 6-10 as a head coach, and then the next year he took them to the NFC Championship. Michigan, what did he do? Year 2, took them really far, made them contenders. He will do it in the AFC West. He will make them look like contenders, whether it's him winning the division outright or him doing well in the playoffs. They are a team to be feared of, Luke. I wouldn't say that they're a pushover.
Understand? But what am I afraid of? They've beaten us a couple of times in the last couple of years. Have they won the division? Look at how they play. They barely beat one of the worst teams in the NFL right now in the Miami fucking Dolphins, dude.
But it's also the
they
NFL.
Needed a cheap still. The fucking Broncos barely beat the 0-6 Jets.
Again, it's the NFL, Luke. The Jets are hungry and they're kind of in the desire to win.
Hungry dog runs faster. I respect that. I get it. But we'll see. People are jumping off the bandwagon. That's fine. Go jump on another bandwagon. That's fine. It's fine. I see Ryan like rolling his eyes into his head.
No, I just noticed the next topic, and from the group text, I'm salty about that game. So, that could be a good segue to move on.
Yeah, da Bears.
Yeah,
da Bears. Win the revenge game after last year losing off a Hail Mary. The Bears get a big road win against the Commanders, and they're 3-2. Behind Harris, George's Bears have the second best record on this podcast. Isn't that crazy? Ryan, your thoughts, because I know you have a lot to say about fantasy.
So, look, I have Caleb Williams as my starting quarterback in fantasy. So, of course, I wanted him to do well. I didn't want him to throw to DeAndre Swift because that was who was the starting running back on the team I was going up against. So, that big touchdown at the end, towards the end of the game, I think it was maybe at the end of the third quarter, maybe into the fourth quarter.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Of course, that gets us closer because, Caleb Williams is 6 or 7 points, but Swift got 8 or 9 points off of that. And then the last big run that Swift does before they start kneeling the damn ball or whatever to kick the field goal, 1 point. I lost by 1 point.
That kneel down basically cost you the game.
It wasn't even the kneel down may have affected a little bit. He did lose a couple yards, but that last big run from Swift out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, when he just took off and then no one around him for 10 yards.
Yes,
dude.
And literally, I was talking to my friend in our group chat, and he was like, "There's no way I win. I'm cursed. There's no way you choke." I literally respond in the group chat after I realized the score changed. Dude, this is bullshit. And he responded with, "Where's the group chat?" He said, "The devil works hard, but DeAndre Swift works harder."
So I had something similar, Ryan, but I ended up winning my game by 3 points.
He also threw salt in the wound and said Minneapolis miracled me, which is even worse because he's a Saints fan too, so that's really messed up.
Oh wow, that's fucked. That's fucked up, dude. That's fucked up. Yeah, if he would have ran for another three or four, another 10 yards, I would have been screwed. But I ended up winning my game by 3. Thank God Josh Jacobs scored 2 touchdowns and had almost 98 yards rushing. That was great.
But I wanted to get into the meat and potato of the podcast. Also, what I was saying on the clip when Nick Moody hit that game-winning field goal.
You were the only one that took him.
I mean, let's be real.
Congratulations,
George was fucking
a blind nut.
Hey, guess what? Is it really blind nut when I'm looking at matchups and stuff and like kind of looking at everything. And at the same time,
Is it really a blind?
look, I'll tell you what the blind nut games were in the last couple of weeks. Me picking the Browns, me picking the Dolphins. Like there have been blind nut games where I've just thrown a dart. Oh, sorry, me picking the Jets a couple weeks ago. There have been games where I've just thrown a dart at a board and just go, let's see what happens.
That's fair.
That was actually a strategic pick, if you think about it. Also, at the same time, with the way George was talking shit about the Bears, how could I have not picked the Bears at that moment?
That's fair. That's very, very fair. Yeah, it was a fun game to watch. The games on Monday night were fun to watch. Very interesting outcomes. Week 6, other games, Giants and Scatterboo upset the Eagles. Should the Eagles be worried? I think yes. I think their offense is very stagnant. If Saquon Barkley doesn't run the ball if that run game doesn't set up the play action pass, it gets kind of dicey.
I just want to talk about, like, I know he's already kind of been emerged since the Chargers game, but dude, Scatterboot is a dog.
Scatterboo is a fucking great running back. I love him a lot.
I mean,
he brings that energy.
I'm trying to remember like the last running back that had the same kind of, I'm going to run through your face. I don't really care if I get concussions.
Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, I'd say
Marshawn
Marshawn Lynch is the last real bruiser type running back who just doesn't care about anything. And
Derrick Henry.
But like, I mean, like
Derrick
in terms
Henry
of like
also has that. But it's
attitude, like think
That's fair.
about like Henry isn't talking openly about how he ran into phone poles and put on his brother's shoulder pad and like ran into walls.
Yeah, that's fair. Ryan, your thoughts on this game? Should the Eagles be worried?
I think so. I mean, if they don't win next week against the Vikings, which I mean, it's probably going to be a tough win. I didn't realize this. They play the Giants again in 2 weeks. They play them next week after the Vikings.
Yeah.
So that's going to
So
still
it's a
be
revenge
fresh.
game.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would be worried. I have a friend in another Discord who's a huge Eagles fan. I have not talked to him about these past couple of weeks. But everybody in the Discord knows he's an Eagles fan, so sometimes they occasionally mention when the Eagles are losing, like, "Hey, is he doing okay?" Especially when he's not talking.
I mean, that's kind of how it was for me and the Chiefs the last couple of weeks, but I think we're through the toughest part of it. Speaking of an AFC West rival, Broncos squeak out a win versus the Jets in London. Does the NFL need to change how they do international games? No.
I say yes, because why the fuck is this even a game in
I was gonna
London?
say, this seems like a random game to be international.
Why does the NFL always pick the worst teams to introduce new fans to the NFL? All right,
Because
the international audience, you're going to watch the Broncos versus the Jets. Aren't you excited to watch Denver just completely run over the 0-5 Jets?
Because they want to have those teams. Just think about it, right? So Nate, my former co-host of Iron Guyz, is a Jags fan.
Mhm.
He doesn't get a lot of out-of-market games unless you have Sunday ticket. You can't get those games.
Yeah.
That's why they do it, because they want to get out-of-market teams that they want to give those out-of-market fans a chance to see their teams play on TV.
But I don't get that at all, because I'm thinking from a international fan standpoint, not I live in the USA and I'm watching this game at 9 a.m. Eastern or 6 a.m. if you live on the West Coast. Jesus Christ. Like, to me, it's like I'm thinking it from all right, I watch UK football. I'm not really familiar with American football. I'm going to watch this game to see what American football is about. And imagine like you're an international fan, you're tuning into this game. That would kind of like deter you from being an NFL fan, would it not? Like watching Justin Fields all of us combined have more passing yards than Justin Fields had in that game. He had negative passing yards in this game, Luke. Like,
Wait, that's possible?
Yeah, because he got like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, negative. He had -8 passing yards. He got sacked like 5 times.
And he threw like dump passes behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like,
Okay.
to me, it's like you would want to put like up and coming really good teams or like the best of the best in these international games. I thought like
Think about it.
Chargers. Chiefs was that's a good international game. They should do more stuff like that. Next week, that's going to be a good international game in London. Like Rams, Jags, that's a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. And I think they'll I don't know, if you listen to Part of My Take, there's been rumors of them doing a international Super Bowl, and I don't know how to feel about it. I think that's a terrible idea.
I mean, Goodell has been like pushing it. Didn't he say at like one point he wants to do like 16 international games?
He wanted to have like international division. I remember like international divisions, like an international teams.
And then the Jags have been linked to London for the longest time, have they not?
Yeah, I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, but I'm just saying, like, to me, it's like, if you're gonna do an international team, this is how you softboard it.
Just start an international league.
No, this is what I would say.
Apparently, they did that before at one point.
Start in Canada.
Yeah.
Put a team in Toronto. Put a team in Vancouver. That's not much of an international change, and they're not that far apart. And they both are good markets, and they both would probably support the NFL.
Toronto definitely would. Toronto for sure, because the way the Blue Jays are playing right now, they had that stadium packed. I mean, look at the Raptors a couple of years ago when they were in the finals. Like, Toronto's a good sports town.
And they love football. From talking to Jesse, they love football. Like, they are, like, most of Toronto, I think, from what Jesse was saying, are Bills fans. And they're diehard Bill fans.
Yeah, because they're not that far.
I want to point out, I think Justin Fields' performance broke ESPN's website because it says that he's passed for 45 yards, but the team total passing yards was -10. So I think he broke the website.
Yeah. So there you go. There's that. Dallas loses to Rico Dowdle. Is Schottenheimer the guy for the Dallas Cowboys?
I don't think that's the question we should be asking, Luke.
What?
Man, it's only if they didn't have this terrible owner called Jerry Jones, who is constantly always sabotaging his team at every single chance he gets.
Again, Jerry Jones, terrible fucking owner. Very funny guy to just watch, honestly, because it's so funny to watch him. Rico Dowdle is that game was crazy. If you had him on your fantasy team, I think he scored 40 points.
If you had Rico Dowdle on your fantasy team, you could see the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on, now I gotta see if anybody has him in my league.
Oh yeah, you have to now.
Not that I want to necessarily pick him up because who knows what's gonna happen next week, but
yeah, but he has been he had 179 yards last week rushing, so he's had 2 consistent weeks.
Also, if you could see the future, whoever picked him up in fantasy, could you tell me what the next lottery number is? I'm very curious.
I will say, so he scored 33 points, at least according to, we use Sleeper. I don't know if he has the same scoring as like ESPN or whatnot. Scored 33 points this week, scored 32 points last week. So somewhat consistent. So, I mean, and somebody in my league does have him.
Oh, nice.
I don't know when they picked him up, though.
Yeah, not much to say about that. Rico Dowdle just put his fucking nuts on Jerry Jones's face and told him to suck it.
I mean, it feels good for me and Ryan because we both picked the Panthers.
Did I pick the Cowboys?
You picked the Cowboys.
Fuck me! God damn it! God!
Damn, he did have him starting. Wow.
Fuck. All right, well, now to the last game of the week. Falcons beat the Bills. Are the Bills frauds?
What the fuck was this game? I know I kept getting score updates when I was watching Bears Commanders, so I couldn't watch both because I was on TikTok Live. What the fuck happened?
The Falcons just had a really good game plan on defense, and they just shut down Josh Allen. And by the way, why the fuck are you like in the second half? They just started running James Cook, and he was getting consistent yards. Why are you going away from that? Especially when you call a bullshit play on 4th and 1 and you don't have him in the game? What kind of fucked up shit
Atlanta's
is that?
run defense has always kind of been suspect. I don't know why they moved away from that.
No, he literally was getting 5 yards a carry and they went away from him. Not just me bitching about him being he's one of my running backs on both of my fantasy teams.
I would like to point out, even though I watched like the highlights after the fact, the scoreboard doesn't represent this game at all in the fucking slightest. Also, this game should be 31-20 if Drake London didn't step out of bounds.
Oh, 100%.
Shout out Drake London. He's on my fantasy team. 31 points.
You would have had 36 if he did his job and
Yeah.
didn't step out of bounds.
No, but are the Bills frauds? No. I would like them to be, but I don't think they are. I think they just hit a
Can we talk about
hit a night where
the
they weren't
fact
hitting it.
that the Chiefs, again, I know it's early in the season, the Bills and the Ravens are all three not top 3 teams right now
Struggling.
in the AFC.
They're struggling.
What the fuck is going on?
Dude, I know. I saw a tweet that it was like, oh yeah, the AFC, and it was the Colts, the Steelers.
Do you want me to pull up like the
Chargers.
playoff picture if the NFL started today? Because it's actually kind of insane.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, the
Colts,
Chiefs
Steelers,
win.
Chargers, Patriots, and then you see the Bills, the Jaguars, the Broncos.
Yeah. The top 2 teams in the NFL right now, Luke, are the Buccaneers and the Indianapolis Colts.
Indianapolis Colts.
What the fuck?
It's because the Colts run the ball really, really well.
I mean,
And they
Jonathan
have
Taylor's a
decent
dog.
offensive line. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor is a fucking dog, and I have nightmares of him when he played at Wisconsin. But no, I don't think the Bills are frauds. I think they just ran into a really hot team. Not even a really hot team. They just got outplayed on defense. Atlanta was just making plays where the Bills just weren't able to come back. And I think that's very, very important moving forward.
I'm excited to see how like that, because honestly, for once in the longest time I remember, the AFC East isn't a pushover this year.
No.
It's gonna come down to either the Patriots or the Bills, and who's gonna win that last matchup.
No, for sure. 100%. Ryan, your thoughts? Are they frauds?
No, I still think. I mean, you look at the AFC. I mean, they're one of 2, 3, but 5 or 6 teams that are 4-2 right now.
Yeah.
I think it's still too early.
Yeah, I would agree. All right. Week 7 bets. Ryan, too bad George isn't here. Saints at Bears. Bears are favored -4.5. Over under is 45.5. What are your thoughts, Ryan?
I mean, I'm gonna pick the Saints because I mean I have to.
Yeah.
Also, it would mean I make money if I do Saints money lines. So
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's also weird because my fantasy team. Like I got Caleb Williams. So I mean, it's like, do I take the L
struggle,
in
huh?
fantasy for like this 3rd straight week, or do I hope for at least one more Saints win?
Yeah.
And
Go
ahead.
No, go ahead, Ryan.
I was just gonna say, like, I think the Bears are gonna win, but I'm gonna pick the Saints.
I think the Bears are going to win. I think they're going to ride high off of that win on Monday night. I think they're going to they're going to roll with it, and it's at home. They tend to play better at home. Roma Dunze and Caleb Williams have been pretty on par this year. So I think the Bears will win. I kind of also like the over here as well. I think there's not a ton of defense. 45.5.
Mhm.
You don't think Spencer Rattler will be able to throw them out of situations?
It's not Rattler I'm worried about.
Oh, it's Williams.
It's the running game. Yeah, it's just
That's fair. That's kind of why I like the over, because they'll just throw.
You think we'll just
throw them-
I mean, yeah, we could. They could
Air
just
it out.
fuck it, Rattler. You just go it and just do whatever the fuck you want.
That definitely
That's
could
what
be.
I would do if I'm New Orleans.
I mean, at this point, you're 1-5. You're not unless you go on a generational run of like 12-5 or 11-5, however many games he's playing NFL now. Yeah,
That's fair. Harris, your chart.
I mean, I'm picking Bears money line, but here's the thing: the Saints are playing every single team close except for the Seahawks game. They're gonna play the Bears close, even though the Bears should really run away with this game. They're not gonna run away with this game. It's gonna be probably like, I could see it being like, I know it's 10 points, but I could see it being like 30-20. Chicago. I could see it being closer than it is, and in the fourth quarter they just get 2 last drives that just pull it away. Maybe since Rattler has like a fumble or like a turnover that like flips the game, but like this game should be closer than expected. The Saints are playing
For
teams
sure.
really close. They're like it's weird. I know they're 1-5 and like this is a good team. They're kind of like the Cardinals. They're just so inconsistent. You never know what they're gonna pull out.
Yeah. Raiders at Chiefs. Chiefs minus 12.5. Over under is 45.5 again. I don't know if that's true. I did these very late last
all-
night.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say a lot of these. Also, you put Patriots for Saints Bears.
I
I'm
know.
so
I
confused.
wasn't. I wasn't. Yeah, I was very tired last night.
I pulled it up on ESPN because I thought that money line was atrocious.
Yeah.
It is now plus 600 and minus 1,000. So yeah. According
Yeah, well.
to ESPN Sportsbook.
All right, Ryan, cash out, baby.
Yeah. I'm taking Chiefs money line. I don't think they cover the 12.5. I hope I'm wrong, but big spreads like this in the NFL, I don't touch. I don't.
I don't know how anyone's gonna.
That was another thing, that I noticed was the abnormal big spread.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how anyone in their right mind picks the Raiders. What the fuck is going on with Geno Smith?
Putting
Well,
$1,000 on Raiders money line. Let's go all in, baby.
Let's go. Pete Carroll is gonna somehow have a bullshit coaching game. You know what? You know what, Luke? That's also entirely possible in this situation. I don't think the Chiefs are going to lose. If Pete Carroll may play you guys closer than expected, and Geno may have actually a good game.
We've struggled with Max Crosby, in these matchups, but again, I think everybody is high on Rashee Rice coming back, and I think that's part of the reason why it's such a steep point spread, and why the money line is the way it is, minus 1,000. That's crazy. That's crazy. We all picking Chiefs or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we got the Sunday night game. Falcons at 49ers. 49ers favored by 3.5. Over under is 45.5. Is that right? 45.5. How are they all 45.5?
That's what I was going to say. There's no way these are all 45.5, Luke.
Who are we on?
Falcons at 49ers.
I can see what ESPN has.
I'm gonna take 49ers minus 3.5.
47.5 is what ESPN has.
All right, 47.5.
2.5 spread.
Okay, I'll take 49ers. Actually, fuck no. Wait, hold on, no.
There's actually a lot of
Whoa.
things that play in this game. This isn't as easy as you guys
Warner's
think it
hurt.
is. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with the Niners. I'm not trying to flip you in this way direction, one or the other. Brock Purdy and George Kittle will be back for this game.
Oh, fuck! Never mind. 49ers, baby. Let's go. I completely forgot that they were coming back. All right, yep, nope, 49ers.
But here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to go with my pick just because I'm going Falcons just because Fred Warner's out and Bijan Robinson's going to have an insane game. Dude, if Rachaad White was averaging 5 yards a carry, and I'm no offense, I love Rachaad White. Don't get me wrong when I say this. He's not a really top 10 back in the league. Bijan is going to go off. That defense is not going to have that many solutions for Bijan Robinson.
That's fair. That's fair. Ryan?
I got 49ers.
Yeah, I think 49ers is a good bet.
That's a safe bet. Yeah.
I think it's a safe bet. I think, but I don't discredit Harriet's analysis there though. They got to figure out how to stop the run for sure. And then we've got Monday Night Football. Buccaneers at Lions. Lions minus 4.5. Over under is 52.5. I like the over. Both teams can score points. Having watched the Chiefs put up 30 on Detroit's defense, the secondary is hurt. I also think that the Bucs offense, they're also hurt at the wide receiver, so it's going to be who wins that battle on the outside. And I think, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you remember the last time they played, it actually really came down to Baker's ability to get out of the pocket and scramble and like run with the ball. That actually, Godwin and Evans didn't really have that much of a good game last time.
Look at what Mahomes did. Look at what Mahomes did. He rushed for 35, 40 yards and had a touchdown. So leave that as it may. I like the over under 52.5 as my pick. If I had to choose, I would choose. Fuck. I think Bucks are gonna cover the 4.5 spread. I think they cover 4.5 easy.
Yeah.
But I do think the Lions will probably win this game if I had to guess. But yeah. So I got 3 picks on that. Jesus Christ. Ryan.
I agree. I think it's going to be a shootout in terms of scoring. Lions seem to be the safe bet here, so I'm going Lions.
All right, Harith. Obviously, you're picking the Bucks.
I'm obviously picking the Bucks, but like honestly, there is one thing I do want to talk about with this game that I'm kind of worried about with Tampa. So Mike Evans is returning to practice this week, and I'm worried they're going to throw Mike Evans in when he's not fully ready with his hamstring, because that's what they did against Baltimore. And because Mike Evans, I love him. He's my favorite player of all time, but he also has this tendency of, I feel slightly better. I feel a little bit better, but I can play football, so I'm going to play the game. And then he re-injures himself. So if I'm Tampa, I'm just telling Mike Evans, you're not playing until after the bye. Because at this point in time, you have to think, like, honestly, here's my prediction with Tampa going forward. I'm not going to go fully down the line. If Tampa can split the next 6 games, they win 3, they drop 3, they will be fine. The last 6 games of the season are stupidly, insanely easy. We play the Panthers twice in that stretch. We play the Dolphins in that stretch. I forget there's a couple other games. We play the Cardinals in that stretch. And there's one other easy game that I'm forgetting about. If Tampa can just win the next 3, whatever order you pick, whether it's before the bye or after the bye, they will be fine. They can run the table and still somehow come away with the first seed. At this point, you just got to be worrying about players' health and safety at this point. I know Bowles doesn't really tend to do that. He tends to focus on game to game and whatever it takes to win. But to me, it's you got to play health right now. I'm sorry. Our number 1 wide receiver right now is Sterling Shepard. Our number 2 wide receiver is, don't get me wrong, Tez Johnson's balling out right now, and he played crazy against San Francisco. But he's a 7th-round draft pick. We have to play with health and safety first. But I'm still picking the Bucs money line because Baker's playing at MVP level, and I can't go against Baker at this point in time.
Harith, what's the records?
Oh, for the NFL?
NFL.
Okay.
Yeah.
In last place, we got Ryan at 9-6.
Damn.
That's not bad.
Then in second to last place, we got George at 10-5. In second place, we got Luke at 11-4.
Damn it!
And then at me at first place, I got myself at 12-3.
Damn.
Hey, we all went over 500. 9-6 gets me
Yeah.
in the playoffs, you know?
So what's over? Are we combining overall records?
I'm combining overall
college
records
and
just
pro?
because I don't know if you want to keep doing this going forward. If you want to do combined overall college and NFL, I just combine them both into so
That's
far.
fine. Yeah.
So
what's our
combine both
record?
overall, even though first week is kind of crazy because of different formatting rules. I don't know how that's going to play
Yeah.
down the line. So I would say right now George is in last place by 1 loss at 30-19. Then
That's still pretty fucking good.
I'm in 1 place above him at 30-18. Then Ryan is 31-18. And then you are 32-17. So it's
no
like
shit!
Wild.
Wow.
it's a close race.
It's the random upset that we're picking here and there.
No,
Like, we're
literally,
trying to pick.
I'm going to be
Sure.
100% honest. The Bears is what flipped that game for me.
That's hilarious.
If I also picked the Steelers instead of the Browns, and if I didn't throw a dart at the board, which I'm tired of just throwing darts at the board, I'm actually going to start using my brain now instead of just throwing a random game out there because it's the NFL. I would have had a 2-game advantage in the NFL.
Yeah. For sure. All right, throw up the graphics for our
Yep, that's what I was
picks.
getting to because you kind of caught me off guard with the going back to the records. I was like, oh yeah, we have to go back. So who do we want to start with?
Let's start with.
I say we start with George because he's
Oh
not
yeah,
here.
George. Yeah. Start with George. What's George got?
Okay, let me go over to Video Ninja. Sorry, I have so many different tabs open. Share screen, share window. Let's go down to image. There we go.
All right.
Let me
So
shrink this down
George,
so you actually can tolerate this. Sorry, I have an ultra
there
wide,
we
so
go.
this looks terrible.
No, it looks good. It's fine. All right. So George has got the Steelers over the Bengals, Rams over the Jags. He's got the Patriots over the Titans. He's got the Bears over the Saints. He's got the Browns over the Dolphins. Panthers over the Jets. Vikings over the Eagles. Chiefs over the Raiders. Broncos over the Giants. Colts over the Chargers. Sorry. Packers over the Cardinals. Commanders over the Cowboys. Falcons over the 49ers. Bucks over the Lions, and Seahawks over the Houston Texans. Funny how the Buffalo Bills and the Ravens are on a bye week this week. Very interesting. Let's go to me.
Yep.
We'll do me.
You'll go
We'll
you
do
next.
me.
Honestly, in hindsight, we probably should have done an order of rankings of like who was last and who was first.
All right. I had Pittsburgh, Rams, Patriots, Bears, Browns, Panthers, Vikings, Chiefs, Giants, Colts, Green Bay, the Packers, Commanders, 49ers, Lions, and Seahawks.
I'm curious about Giants over Broncos. What is that like my point, or you're just throwing a dart at a board and hoping that it hits?
I think the Giants are a better team. I think the Giants are going to show that they can play. However, I won't be surprised if the Broncos win by touchdown and a field goal because they can get after the quarterback.
Fair.
That's my picks. Let's go, Ryan.
Yep.
And then Harith, you can end it.
So I got Steelers, the Rams, the Saints, the Browns, Patriots, Chiefs, Eagles, Panthers, Broncos, Colts, Commanders, Packers, 49ers, Lions, and the Seahawks.
Damn, I guarantee you it's going to come down to that fucking Broncos game. I guarantee it.
Don't sleep on the Saints, damn it. They're going to win.
The Saints will go marching for once. Or for twice. They'll go marching 2 times. All right,
Harris.
For my picks, I got the Steelers. I'm finally picking the Steelers. The Rams, Patriots, Bears, Browns, Panthers, Eagles, Chiefs, Broncos, Colts, Packers, Commanders, Falcons, Bucks, Seahawks.
Damn. So that is going to be it for this episode. Ryan, thanks for joining. A little bit late. George will be back next week. He wasn't feeling very good, so he was under the weather. So hopefully he feels better, buddy. Where can the good people follow you, Ryan, on social media?
They can find me at RyanPW on Twitter and TikTok, while I will just yell into the void about Star Wars.
And we will be doing that on Thursday, talking about Mandalorian season 1, episode 3. So if you're watching this on the replay and you're a Star Wars fan, we've got that too. Pod One's podcast. Go check out me and Harith and our friend Shar as we break down the Mandalorian in perpetuity to the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Harith, where can good people follow you?
Look, at people can find me at Harris Productions on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. And of course, you could find me here on Iron Guyz. And of course, as Luke's already mentioned, you can find me over at the Pod Ones podcast. You can also find us now, as we are starting game reactions on TikTok Live. Me and Luke are starting to alternate who is reacting to what game. And we are kind of just picking games that don't align with. Obviously, Iron Guyz is not in effect with any other game unless some crazy fucking insanity happens. But we're not in COVID here. So at the moment, it's just, what do we say, Friday nights, Saturday, whatever happens, if it lines up with our teams, and then Sunday and Monday?
Yep. So as of right now, we've got, for this Friday night, the Huskers take on Minnesota. So I will be streaming that on TikTok. Then Harith will be taking Washington, Michigan. And then I will be doing Raiders Chiefs. And then Harith will be doing Bears. Or no. You will be doing Bucks and Lions on Monday night.
Yep.
So, whenever game runs over, maybe Ryan, if you would like to be on TikTok on the Gridiron Guys and watch a game and do that for the Saints or LSU, let me know. We'll get you the info and you can just plug in and do it if that's something that you would be interested in. We'll talk more about that on offline, but you can find me at ACAD2123 on Twitter, Instagram. You can find me here at Gridiron Guys every Tuesday night, and when we do our live streams on TikTok. And you can find me at the Pod Ones podcast every Thursday. It's gonna be the first Thursday in a couple of Thursdays that I've been there. And then Jedi Master Eggs if you want to check out my Star Wars stuff or Lord of the Rings, whatever. But that's it, boys.